there is the easy way to learn something and then there is a hard way. This is something pretty straightforward, but I learned it an extremely hard way, largely due to my own ignorance, but hopefully now you won't have to do so.
Let me start this video with a small story. Those of you who have been here on the channel for several years will remember Faith, my Royal Enfield Thunderbird 500, on which this whole toll-free traveler journey started. When I started touring on motorcycles, I did it more out of a passion for travel rather than any technical expertise in motorcycling. So I just threw my luggage onto whatever motorcycle I had and I went off on my adventures. There's a certain charm to it, but as the saying goes, you live and you learn. I rode over 1 lakh kilometers on that Thunderbird, nearly 50,000 of which were done on the same type of tires that it came out of the showroom on. This is not because I thought they were good enough, it's just that I didn't know there were any other options, and every time the tread wore out and I went to the shop, I would just go with whatever was recommended. Most often they didn't bother to apply their mind to my use case and I just got whatever was already on the bike. And the truth is that there were several situations where I was not comfortable on the motorcycle, or I might have taken a few falls without ever really understanding the cause and effect relationship. It wasn't until much later, when I met some people who'd been riding for much longer, that I began to sort of comprehend this connection to tires and the difference that they can make. Now, motorcycling is a fairly nuanced space and a lot of people have a lot of ideas, so you need to take everything with a pinch of salt, otherwise it can quickly get out of hand. But this tires thing seemed to make sense to me. So the next time I changed tires, I put something more purpose-made for my kind of riding, and the difference was phenomenal. Apples and oranges. And that's when I understood just how critical it is to have a good set of tires and what a difference it can make to your ride experience. This Classic 500, it's nearly 14 years old. You can see this beautiful patina around it. Now this motorcycle is used primarily in and around the city. It stays on tarmac for the most part. So what I was looking for were a good set of on-road tires, but preferably something different from what I've tried before. The Eurogrip Beamer Tyres caught my eye because they have a significantly different tread pattern from on-road tires that I've seen before. These are also more sporty tires. So I was wondering what sort of a difference that'll make putting those kind of tires on a Classic 500.
I'm a rolling stone, bound to roam. Come the morning, or I'll be gone. Pouring rain, wanna hear that train. There she comes, won't you get on?
Honestly, it has been forever since I enjoyed riding this Classic like this. These tires, they've made a real difference.
I've ridden nearly 500 kilometers since I did this tire change. The first 50 to 100 kilometers I stuck to the city just to get an initial feel to the tires and for that basic run-in. And then I had sort of reached my tolerance for city riding, so I set off on a longer ride through some of the routes that I love. There are a few things that I noticed. Almost straight off the bat, there was a difference in maneuverability. And initially I put this down to, that initial new feeling of like whenever you change tires, it feels a little bit different. But whenever I ride the bike, even now, I still feel that. The front end feels a lot lighter and more maneuverable. It also feels a lot nicer in the corners. I think maybe because these are more sporty tires and they have that extended shoulder. They're more rounded than the typical tires that I've used previously on this Classic 500. So it just turns really beautifully. The tires grip really well. And that makes a difference not just when you're riding on different kinds of surfaces, but also in the braking. This motorcycle does not necessarily brake very well, but there is that little bit more confidence. The Beamer YS Plus at the rear complements this very nicely. It's an extremely grippy tire. It likes to turn as well. And it's a very different feeling on this Classic 500, one that I've definitely enjoyed. Both of these tires are P-Speed rated, which is for speeds up to 150 kilometers per hour. Plenty on a Classic 500 and possibly more than enough for most motorcycles that we get in India. The other thing is that they're both tubeless tires, so you could use them on alloy wheels, or you could put a tube inside and use them on spoked wheels like I've done here.
Quite often when I'm back home in Chennai, I don't end up riding too much because that's the time I get to do other things because I go out to ride. In many ways, I'm grateful I had this reason to ride because I've discovered some really, really nice new routes. You feel like you know the place where you live, but one of the things that I constantly realize in India especially is that you never truly know any place completely. This has been great fun. I think I'm going to wrap up this video saying just 3 things. The first is that good tires are extremely important and they can make a world of a difference. So making sure you get good tires on your motorcycle is a no-brainer. The second, I think it makes sense to try and find out what will be good for you and don't worry about experimenting. Try different tires and just see what works for you best. And the third is that based on this particular experience, if you ride a Royal Enfield, an older Thunderbird, a classic like this one, or possibly the newer ones, even something like the Himalayan, Eurogrip has a wide range of tires that are available for all of these motorcycles and many more. It just goes, the spectrum is quite wide. I've obviously only tried out these Beamer tires and they've been really impressive. Hopefully in the future I'll get the chance to try out some more tires, go riding in some other places on some different motorcycles. But this has been such a fantastic experience. Thank you all for making the time to watch this video. I hope that you found something useful over here. I will catch you all in the next one.